everybody, to WTL. You know what that stands for. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klesson, joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it.
And you know you're going to give us a parlay here.
We got the
right?
NFL weekly parlay,
Okay.
and this one's hitting,
All
boys.
right.
This one's hitting, boys.
Like the last one.
Yeah.
It's hitting.
It's hitting.
It's hitting. All right, let's start with a fun game, divisional game here. This is going to be a 3:05 Sunday kickoff. The Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
Heading on over to Denver. And, you know, I think a lot of people had Denver pegged for 1-3 or 0-4 at this point.
Yeah.
Nah, they're 2-2.
Yeah, not bad.
They are 2-2, and they're your 2.5-point favorite at home over the Raiders.
Yeah, Andy, I think both of these teams kind of have to like where they're at this point in the season. A lot of people thought that these guys weren't contenders at all or, going to get that many wins all season. But both these teams coming off wins last week, neither looked very good in the process, obviously. Denver only gained 186 total yards. I think I was watching it in the third quarter where Bo Nix had a -7 yards passing still, and they were still in the game. Just absolutely insane stat line.
He's just a winner.
He's just a winner. But, yeah, while Las Vegas got the benefit of a very questionable holding call to get their win, the Broncos have been in every game that they have played so far this season, Andy.
Good point.
And but they have allowed a total of 29 points in their last 3 games and face an underwhelming Las Vegas attack. I think you have to take the Broncos, take that money line. If you want to take that 2.5, get a better line, I think it's good as well. But I love the money line for a parlay piece.
Money line at a -145, I'm seeing -140. That's probably a pretty solid bet.
I think so.
On the Denver Broncos. I do think it's kind of a curious case. It's like, well, which fan base hates their quarterback the most? Yeah, Bo Nix at Denver, which I think Denver fans kind of like him.
Yeah,
it's everybody else.
It's kind of the second coming of Tebow is what I'm calling it.
Kind of feel like that.
Just a guy that can get you, 14 points, 10 points, and still win. Come alive in the fourth quarter. Ride that defense to the fourth quarter and then get that score at the end of the game. So, and this guy's a rookie.
Yeah.
Give him time. He's still a gamer, and coming up against a Las Vegas team where, like you said, the whole freaking team doesn't like Gardner Minshew. Davante Adams once out of the experiment, all this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's tough to win when your best player doesn't want to be part of the team anymore.
That's very true. That can't help the locker room. And I think it was the Pittsburgh Steelers game where Bo Nix had one hell of a scramble.
Oh yeah,
on 3rd and long, and
he's
he somehow
a gamer.
Got it. Yeah, and they only lost that game 13-6.
Yeah,
so I thought even in his loss he showed you something. But this is a Tim Tebow stat line on the season. He has 660 yards. 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Gardner Minshew, he's like, well, hold my beer.
Yeah,
here we go.
I'll do it.
3, but he does have 3 touchdowns and only 3 picks.
No doubt.
Only 3 picks. But I kind of like Minshew, too. And that was kind of funny where the Raiders fan base, I think, were thinking, all right, who are we getting? Oh, you got
Gardner Minshew.
He's still in the league? Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is still a Las Vegas team that beat Baltimore, which is absolutely insane, and then defeated Cleveland by a score of 20-16 in their last game. So they can
Baltimore
win games.
was on the road too.
Exactly, they can win games, and they're a scrappy team. But I just think with the news coming out with Davante, it's going to be low energy for these guys, and I believe Denver with that defense is going to keep them in the game. They're going to make enough plays at the end to win this game at home.
35.5-point total. I mean, that is pretty low, but these are two teams that struggle offensively, and I don't think Adams is going to get much usage. He'll probably be a decoy. I just don't think it was a wise move for Antonio Pierce, head coach of the Raiders, to like a tweet or an Instagram post talking about him getting traded. Like, you're the head ball coach.
You're the head ball coach.
But for all those reasons that we just mentioned, even though it's 35.5, the under might be the play here. They just plug your nose, right? Pinch your nose and take it.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of people are going to be on the under this week for this game just because of all the facts that we just put out. Denver can't score a lot of points.
At a -105.
Raiders going to be, a little underwhelming. I'm going to sidestep this, Andy, just because a lot of things can happen. Raiders can pop off. Denver can score some, defensive touchdowns and get Bo Nix going early with some easy plays. So I'm going to sidestep this. I just like the Broncos money line.
All righty, well, let's move on to our second game here.
Yeah.
And this is Sunday night. And they got a couple of huge brands. The Dallas Cowboys are heading up to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Going to be a lot of eyeballs on this one. Dak Prescott, hey, he's coming off a couple of really good performances.
Yeah, he is.
Justin Fields.
Same.
Okay. He's showing you some things here. This is Pittsburgh has been bet up to a 2.5-point favorite. I really can't argue with that line. I like that it's close, and I do like the edge going to the home team.
Yeah, Andy. I mean, this is where the line needs to be, obviously, when you're setting it or whatever, but I love the plus 130 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
Dak is getting going. He's on fire right now.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb looks like the best player in the NFL, which we all thought he could be. I just think they're a better team than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh on the defensive end gave up 8 of 15 third down tries and had 0 takeaways on defense for most of the game. It was a pretty listless performance on both sides for Pittsburgh. I don't believe they have a good rebound here against Dallas and Dak playing so well. Now, saying that, Dallas really needs to figure out what they're going to do with that run game because they can't get anything going. But, they've shown that they can just be pass happy and win games.
This is not the steel curtain defense of old, and this is not Ben Roethlisberger lighting it up for a minimum of 300 yards per game to somehow squeak out those close victories.
Yeah.
This is a different Pittsburgh Steelers team. I know they're 3-1.
Yeah.
I know they're 3-1.
They're squeaking them out.
And they're at home. But the Cowboys, they go on this roller coaster every year, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like right now the trajectory is going up. They're still going up before they come to this crashing down. So for those oddball reasons, I like Dallas on the road here outright. Don't I?
Yeah, I love the money line for Dallas right now. If you're getting plus money for Dallas on the road, as well as that offense is playing, everybody's going to say, well, they struggled against the Giants. That's a division team. They always play the Giants tough. They had 293 yards, only 80 rushing is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of penalties. I think they cleaned that up. I think Dak has a huge game. So does CeeDee Lamb.
Last week when this aired, that was one of the games we highlighted, and at that time, the point spread was at 5. They covered. They won 20-15.
Yep.
I think Dallas can do it again.
Yep, I think they got it.
Okay, let's move on to a Monday night. ESPN 7:15 kickoff. The Kansas City Chiefs are 4-0. They're 4-0.
4-0.
Playing host to the New Orleans Saints, and the Chiefs are a 5.5-point favorite. That got bet up from 5. The line opened at 5. Not a lot of movement, but it's going towards Kansas City.
A lot of people are going to be on the Saints here, I think, Andy. I just think that, people are not excited about the Kansas City Chiefs, even though that they are 4-0, but they're going to say they don't have weapons. They're using backups. Rashee Rice out. Isaiah Pacheco out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Don't overthink this. Do not overthink this. The Saints are coming off back-to-back losses, but those games were decided by a combined of 5 points. You're going to say, I don't care. This is the Super Bowl champion Chiefs at home on Monday night. Patrick Mahomes lives for these moments. Travis Kelce's going to get going this game. I am predicting at least 1 touchdown, probably 2. For Travis Kelce. It's just going to happen. This is this is what they set up. This is what they set the Chiefs up for. Right. This is a sluggish offense for the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't have any weapons. Sure. And then they blow a team like the Saints out. Somebody
Monday night.
Yeah. The Roger Goodell is literally leading the Saints into the butcher right now because the Chiefs are going to carve these guys up.
He's got the bull, through that nose ring through the nose.
Come on, Derek Carr. One more loss. Here you go.
I wanted to look into Kansas City because, they've been winning, but have they been covering? Yes, they have. They're 8-1-1 covering over their last 10 games against the spread.
Yeah.
That sounds a little surprising because, these lines are sharp. Of course they're sharp.
Of course they're sharp.
But guess what? It's Patrick Mahomes.
It's Patrick Mahomes at home Monday night under a touchdown.
I really like what you had to say there. Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. It's the Saints. They're coming off back-to-back losses. It's not going to get better for them. They have 2 good teams in the division right now. It's the Buccaneers and it's the Falcons. The Saints are playing very underwhelming football right now, and it's not going to get better on Monday night in Arrowhead Stadium.
Arrowhead hasn't been the get-right spot for the league.
It's not going to be.
Real quick, totals at 43.5. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it gets there. I think it gets there.
Yeah, Monday night.
All that being said, The Kansas City Chiefs are a little vulnerable on defense. Saints do have some playmakers. Kamara, obviously.
Hey, I like Derek Carr. I really do.
Yeah.
So he can hang in there. He can score.
They can score.
Some points.
They're going to lose by at least a touchdown, but I believe this over is a very good play as well.
Over. There we go. Okay, Mr. Parlay Pounder.
Yeah.
We've been waiting this entire time. Do you got a parlay play?
I do. I'm going with one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now, the Washington Commanders.
Ooh.
They are a 3-point favorite over the Cleveland Browns. I love that. Jaden Daniels looks as advertised one of the best players in the football, especially for fantasy-wise. That
He's
is the first
MVP talk.
He is. Minus 110 bet right there. Second piece, Bills -1 over the Houston Texans. Going to Houston, everybody's going to say, well, there's your loss right there. I love the Buffalo Bills in this spot. Houston Texan banged up a little bit, especially at the running back position.
Yes.
My last one, we talked about in the first section, Minnesota Vikings getting 2 points. I believe that is a lock in London. Give me the Minnesota Vikings. Run that back down. Washington, Buffalo, Minnesota, putting 25 on that to win 142.
Throw a little fuel on the fire for you for that Buffalo-Houston matchup. Their receivers are banged up as well for Houston. And when Houston wins, that offense is putting up 42 points per game. Might not be the case with running back and receiver injuries there.
I love it. Washington, Buffalo, Minnesota, put them all three together, $25 to win 142.
There you go, 142. A cool 142 from the Parlay Pounder.
Let's go.
Courtesy of WTL, folks.
Yes.
Well, that'll about do it for us this week. Be sure to follow us on ESPN Tri-City Radio and their Facebook page. We're also on X, and we have some things going on over at our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Short videos, feature length, long form, and then you're holding down the old TikTok.
Yeah, make sure you check us out at WTL Sports Betting on TikTok for parlays, picks right before any primetime matchups on the weekend.
And it's more than picks. We have a little bit of fun with it too, don't we?
Obviously, it's fun stuff.
I think we're going to have a couple of fun videos coming out on TikTok, and I think we might tweet a few fun ones out over the weekend as well.
Make sure you check us out.
For Joe Braun, the Parlay Pounder, I'm Andy Klassen. Thank you for listening. This has been WTL.